Hello, good evening. Warm welcome to Business Live. Coming up, Ghana cedi depreciates by about 12% to the US dollar since the beginning of the year, placing it as the second weakest currency in sub-Saharan Africa. Precious Mineral Marketing Company urges its stakeholders to offer full collaboration to Gold for Oil program. We have the details as it identifies smuggling as a security threat to the initiative. Plus, Association of Ghana Industries to engage Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission over increase in utility tariffs, warning the upward adjustment will affect cost of production.
That most of our people have to reduce their production, and some of them really even have to lay off workers because you can't sell the same volume that you're able to sell in the market because the prices are high.
We've got details of these and many others coming your way, all in a moment. Please stay. Pleasure, you could stay with me. I am Pious Kojo Backah. Straight to our very first story. With only 17 days into the year, the Ghana cedi has depreciated by 12% to the US dollar. Now, the significant fall in the value of the cedi, which occurred yesterday and today, places the local currency as the second weakest currency among 15 top currencies in sub-Saharan Africa. There's more in this report.
The woes of the cedi is not getting better as anticipated, as the local currency is being sold at about 13 cedis, 10 pesos to the dollar on the forex or retail market. The situation is also not better against the euro and the British pound. The Bank of Ghana quoted a dollar at 10 cedis, 34 pesos. Indeed, the country's net foreign assets is in a negative position, a situation compounding the cedi's performance. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, at a Public Accounts Committee meeting, indicated that the pressure on the Ghanaian economy is the reason behind the depreciation of the cedi. He is, however, optimistic that government's barter of gold for oil policy will help reduce the foreign exchange pressures on the economy and thereby stabilize the local currency. He was also hopeful the rapid depreciation of the cedi experienced last year will not occur this year.
Now, bulk oil distribution companies are warning that fuel prices could soon return to the higher levels experienced last year. That's if measures are not taken to quickly stabilize the cedi. Here is George Viafe's report.
The local currency is said to have depreciated by more than 5% already against the US dollar in the first 2 weeks of this month. This actually saw some of the bulk oil distribution companies review the payment terms for selling the products to the oil marketing companies and in some cases return to cash and carry. Some of the oil marketing companies have told Joy Business that they had to pay more in terms of cedis with the same quantity of petroleum products that they were buying last month. This resulted in prices going up by more than 1 Ghana cedi for a litre from January 16th this month. Two of the major oil marketing companies, that is Total Energies and Gulf, have already adjusted their prices. The oil marketing companies have told Joy Business that the cedi's depreciation was a major reason for the increase in prices of petroleum products at the pumps from this Monday. This because prices of finished petroleum products have not witnessed any significant increase on the world market. The bulk oil distribution firms are worried that if the cedi's situation doesn't improve anytime soon, they could be getting back to those high levels in December last year in terms of prices of petroleum products that might not be good for consumers.
Meanwhile, energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Suleiman has described the upward adjustment in fuel prices as inevitable due to the current cedi depreciation.
Almost like going to be like inevitable. I mean, this was coming. I'm saying that because your report clearly indicated that because of the cedi depreciation, that's actually why we are seeing some little upward adjustment in the pumps. And that's actually factual. If you just roll yourself back, if you just check roll back a little bit to see, the dynamics of the market, what actually happened. In fact, all this while, what has been happening is just the supply and demand of the US dollar. That's the greenback that is causing these rapid fluctuations in the rapid fluctuations of fuel prices at the pumps. If you look at the international dynamics, that should have been something that would cause a major headache. But as we speak now, for the last 3 months, I can speak on authority. Oil prices have been stable, relatively stable around the 80s. And so it is only our cedi depreciation that is causing this dynamics. And so we have government has to take serious action on this. And it's a fact that if action is not taken, to whatever that we did that got the cedi stabilized, however brief it was, we have to revisit that and see whether that was sustainable or not. Other than that, we might go back to those days again, unfortunately.
Now, commenting on the gold for oil banter, Dr. Yusuf Suleiman commended the initiative but urged government to get sufficient quantum that can affect Ghana's petroleum market. Yeah, at the moment, the quantum that we are told that came within our shores or that arrived, it's not anything that much. I think it's about 41 or 40,000 metric tons. And this one can just last for 4 days if you want to do cumulative, let's say, diesel and petrol together. But if you look at the consumption, the nation's consumption daily, on a monthly basis, I think we are doing like 350,000 metric tons. So if we do a little bit of calculation, you can see that this 40,000 or 41,000 metric tons is just a dip in the ocean. But our understanding that we should be getting more coming in. The other thing that we need to be careful about is the fact that at least what has been displayed on the pumps, or at the pumps this morning, I am not so pleased. I have to be very frank. I got scared when I went to buy fuel and I noticed that it's almost hitting 14 again. So I asked myself, so what is the dollar rate that our PSPs are using to do this computation? However, it all boils down to the fluctuations. Sometimes they have to do forward pricing. Unfortunately, the consumer gets hit in this process. So at the end of the day, yes, the petroleum product to gold deal, we need to get it in quantums that can impact the market. Moving on to one of our headline story, the Precious Mineral Marketing Company, PMMC, is calling on all stakeholders to fully cooperate with the government for a successful implementation of the gold for oil policy, which began this month, Now, the policy, which includes using the country's gold resources to exchange for oil, has been seen as a good initiative that will reduce pressure on the demand for dollars from bulk oil distributors. Now, the PMMC, in a circular, has also directed all gold dealer firms to look out for its regional offices and sell their gold above 5 kilograms to appropriate authorities. Here is more.
In the case of license holders who have prior existing contractual obligations to supply gold outside Ghana, they are required to write to PMMC with evidence of the contractual obligations, and such companies shall be assisted to discharge those obligations. For the purposes of the implementation of the Gold for Oil policy, the PMMC is entreating all persons who wish to sell to the agency that it shall be required to deliver their gold in whole bars of 5 kg at any of the PMMC offices, either at Patase, Kumasi in the Ashanti region, or Accra Diamond House, where the bars will be assayed and payment effected on the spot. Any trader with gold below the 5 kg threshold shall be required to sell to any of the implementing partners. In the circular, the agency, however, noted that a major threat to the successful implementation of the program is the activities of smugglers. Hence, the security bodies have been engaged to intensify anti-smuggling operations. The PMMC and Minerals Commission assured that they will continue to engage with stakeholders to resolve issues that may arise in the course of the implementation.
Now, the Association of Ghana Industries has resolved to engage the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission over the increase in utility tariffs, arguing the upward adjustments will affect their cost of production. Their concern follows the increase of electricity and water tariffs by 29.96% and 8.3% respectively, effective 1st February 2023. Greater Accra chairman of the Association of Ghana Industries, Chonyam Apelu, has been reacting to this development.
You recall that last year, September 2022, they have increased the electricity to about 26%. Now we're receiving another announcement that they are going to further increase it to 29%. So within a space of 6 months, electricity is going up for over 56%. Industry cannot deal with this. This is really becoming too much for a nation that claims to be determined to support industrialization growth. Within 6 months, we have to deal with a 56% increase in utility, coupled with issues like inflation rate, which is hovering around 54%. At the same time, we're having a looming situation of debt restructuring program, which will have its consequential effects of lack of confidence in the financial system, lack of loanable funds, and all of these situations that industry has to deal with at this moment. Our view is that the things are just too much. See, we have to deal with issues around VAT, over 15%. So an industrialist wake up every morning and have to deal with all this array of increments in cost. At the same time, when you produce in Ghana, you're unable to increase the cost of your product to that level simply because the locally produced products are dealing with competition from imported products, and most of these imported products are cheap. And so it makes it difficult for local industrialists to just increase the prices of their goods and services. The consequential effect is that most of our people have to reduce their production, and some of them really even have to lay off workers because you can't sell the same volume that you're able to sell in the market because the prices are high. So we're really asking government to really intervene and at least delay this increment. The utility prices. Look at water. In the span of within 1 year, water has gone up by 48%. And these are crucial requirements for industrial growth. Water, electricity constitutes a major component of the cost we have to deal with. About 30% of the entire production cost is constituted by electricity, power alone. So imagine an increase of this volume in power. It will obviously affect the cost of production. The cost of raw materials are going up on a daily basis. So really the times are not normal, and we believe that a continuous increase in utility will not help do any good, not only industry, but the nation in general.
You're still watching Business Live here on the Joy News channel with me, Pious Kojo Backah. Still to come, Ghana may seek to add non-Paris Club member, that's China, in its request for debt relief under the G20 Common Framework. Details after this break. Hello, welcome back from the break. This is still Business Live with me, Pious Kojo Backah. We'll continue with the rest of our stories. And Ghana may seek to add non-Paris Club member China in its request for debt relief under the G20 Common Framework. That's according to sources close to Reuters. There's more in this report.
China is Ghana's biggest bilateral creditor with $1.7 billion of debt, according to data from the International Institute of Finance. This is compared with $1.9 billion to Paris Club members. Managing Director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, confirmed that Ghana just became the fourth country to seek treatment under the Common Framework. This sent a signal that it is seen as an important pathway for debt resolution. The IMF boss added that countries seeking debt restructuring under the framework will need greater certainty on processes and standards, as well as shorter and more predictable timelines. The government yesterday extended the deadline for the domestic debt exchange to January 31st. The finance minister reiterated the necessary consensus building through stakeholder consultation with individual and institutional investors as one of the reasons for the extension. The domestic debt exchange program is a necessary condition for the country to secure an IMF support program.
Now, despite the current economic challenges, investors are being encouraged not to be deterred when doing business in the country. According to the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, it is positioning itself to woo more investors to explore the investment opportunities in the various sectors of the economy to improve foreign investments. Here is more from the third Malta Ghana Business Forum.
The third Malta Ghana Business Forum brought Maltese and Ghanaian companies together to connect, network and forge business alliances for mutual benefits. Speaking to Joy Business at the forum in Accra, Deputy Chief Executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yao Amwating Ifriye, stated that his outfit is poised to generate more local and foreign direct investments into the country this year.
We believe that we can increase the figure of $20 million, which the GIPC has recorded as the total foreign direct investment from Malta since 1994 to date. And so these are some of the strategies, these are some of the platforms that we believe that Ghanaian businesses ought to be taking advantage to interact with their Maltese counterpart to increase that figure. These are all part of the linkages, right? B2B sessions, government to government interactions. Already the political side has made a lot of strides. The president has gone to Malta, I think in 2019. Their premier was here, I believe, in 2017. So using that as the anchor, we want to build on the business-to-business interaction between Ghanaian and Maltese.
Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, Anthony Ochiribefi, called on Maltese businesses to take advantage of the automobile, pharmaceutical and garment industries to explore the opportunities presented.
Government also came out with a policy of strategic anchor industries. And in this, one of the key areas in the development of the strategic anchor industries is the automobile industry, the development of the automobile industry. I think in the sub-region, as we stand now, Ghana has about 9 vehicle assemblers in Ghana, 9. And it will interest you to know that we don't have an investor or any business in the area of component manufacturing, which means that all the assemblers still rely on exporting components from outside the jurisdiction to take care of their vehicles. And these companies have established lines even up to even enhanced SKD level. But there is no component manufacturer in this country. And so I want to push hard this to our brothers and sisters from Malta. There's a huge opportunity in the component manufacturing area.
On her part, Chairperson of Trade Malta, Lise Babarusan, expressed Maltese readiness to do business in Ghana.
We are looking forward to collaborating between the Ghanaians and Maltese government and to explore business opportunities together and look forward together to work hard and make the business companies successful, both Ghanaians and Maltese. There are different areas. As our minister said, there is ICT, there is, this morning there were the signing of MOUs, there is healthcare, and we're obviously still exploring the different opportunities. There is also oil and gas, which we are also looking into as Maltese companies, and also the education system, because we feel we can exchange.
The forum saw the signing of an MOU between Maltese investors and their Ghanaian counterparts.
Now, Senior Manager Tax Unit KPMG Gordon Dade has urged the government to reduce the tax rate by roping citizens in the informal sector into the tax system to ease the pressure on existing businesses. According to him, ensuring that more people pay taxes can help the government to reduce the rate to cushion businesses. He spoke on the marketplace.
For businesses, in terms of savings, I will not be able to say how much you will save, but again, if government is able to open the tax net and every other person is paying, you expect that in the long term, the rates should fall. And if the tax rate fall, then of course it's going to benefit all businesses. So once we are able to get a lot of people in the kitty and everyone is paying, then of course government is going to reduce rates. That's, the long term. You expect that rate to fall because more people are paying now. And that should bring some respite to businesses.
And so in terms of compliance, what can be done to ensure that it is enforced? Sort of, what ideas you have to share? I don't know.
Sure. So in terms of compliance, we are in the digital age, we are in the IT age now. And I think technology is one area that government can leverage to make sure that they get tax.
You've with e-levy?
E-levy is a tax handle. So that's a tax handle you've introduced. But if you want to enforce compliance, for example, data analytics, we take withholding tax every month from taxpayers. We have information on them. People like consultants who provide service and earn some kind of income. Sometimes when they pay the withholding tax, they don't pay any other income again on that. So government could actually leverage data analytics to make sure that whatever income has been disclosed on this withholding tax can be used to determine the overall tax burden for these people. Yeah, and that will go a long way to widening the net.
30 seconds. I don't know if you have anything to share. For instance, a PPE kind of a thing as we conclude this afternoon. Any tip for our audience?
Yeah, so I'll say that, look, when it comes to times like this, things are very difficult, and of course, you want to make sure that you continue complying. So yes, having a robust model to manage your process is very important. And maybe one model that I will recommend is to make sure that you put your CCTV in check. And what's the CCTV? The first C will be to comply with the tax law. The second C will make sure to consult when you are in doubt. Then the T will be to transfer. We know in risk management, when you have risk and you can't manage, you transfer it. So as a business, you want to transfer that risk to a consultant to even help you to manage. And the last V will be to be vigilant. Make sure that you are vigilant.
And that's all we have for you by way of Business Live here on the Joy News channel. I am Pious Kojo Backah. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. We leave you with Money Tip on Money Lab.
Hello, welcome to today's section of Money Lab. My name is Jifa Fiati of Alliance Life. In today's episode, we're talking about insurance. What is insurance? Insurance is simply a risk management tool. Insurance is there to protect you and what matters to you the most, your assets and your belongings. Insurance is simply a contract between two parties where one gives the promise to bear the losses of the other should a defined loss event occur, and the other pays premium so this can happen. This is simply how insurance works. So, various people would put monies together in a pool, and should one suffer a loss event or a few suffer a loss event, this money is used in paying the few who suffer. For example, the health insurance, the National Health Insurance Scheme. Not all of us fall sick at the same time, but the few that fall sick do benefit from the contributions of the larger pool. This ends today's episode of Money Lab. See you next time. Bye-bye.